Most people imagine AI progress as something obvious. A chatbot goes viral. A robot does something strange. A company makes a big announcement. But some of the most important AI experiments did not feel dramatic at first. They just quietly crossed a line. A machine beat a fighter pilot in simulated dogfights. And later, AI flew real combat test sorties. In an F-16-based aircraft, an AI system solved protein structure prediction at massive scale. Brain-computer interfaces reached the point where people in clinical trials could control computers, and voice models began responding across speech, vision, and text in real time. Here are 5 real AI experiments that went much further than most realize. What makes an experiment unsettling is not always what it looks like in the moment. Sometimes, it is what it quietly proves. That a machine can outperform a human in a task once thought too instinctive. That biology can be mapped faster than scientists expected. That thought can directly control a device. That conversation with a machine can stop feeling like software and start feeling like presence. These are not rumors. They are real systems, real tests, and real milestones documented by the organizations behind them. Let's start with one of the clearest psychological threshold crossings in modern AI. A machine learning system entering the logic of aerial combat. In 2020, DARPA's Alpha Dogfight trials ended with an AI agent from Hiron Systems defeating an experienced Air Force fighter pilot in a simulated F-16 dogfight. DARPA described the event as the culmination of a competition built around within visual range. Air combat maneuvering, that alone would have been enough. But the experiment did not stop there. DARPA's Air Combat Evolution program later moved from simulation into real aircraft testing. In 2024, DARPA said ACE achieved the first ever in-air tests of AI algorithms autonomously flying an F-16 against a human-piloted F-16. X-62 Avista was the platform used for those demonstrations. Following earlier 2022 flight tests, where AI agents piloted advanced fighter maneuvers, that is what makes this experiment feel bigger than most people realize. It was never just about winning in a simulator. It was about proving that machine learning could move from abstract optimization into one of the most time-sensitive, instinct-heavy domains imaginable. A dogfight is supposed to belong to reflex, perception, and nerve. And AI crossed into that space. For decades, predicting the 3D structure of proteins was considered one of biology's great challenges. DeepMind described protein folding as a 50-year grand challenge. AlphaFold 2's performance transformed what had once been a slow, difficult problem into something AI could solve at unprecedented scale. Later, the AlphaFold database expanded to more than 200 million predicted protein structures in partnership with EMB. That scale is the part many miss. This was not just one impressive demo. It became a scientific engine. DeepMind says, AlphaFold has revealed millions of intricate 3D protein structures. DeepMind said the database's scale represented what would have taken hundreds of millions of years to solve experimentally. What makes this experiment so strange is how invisible its significance can sound to not. Protein folding does not look cinematic. But if you change how quickly scientists can understand biological structure, you change drug discovery, disease research, and the basic speed of bioscience. That is not an AI toy. That is AI stepping directly into the architecture of life. Brain-computer interfaces long belonged to the category of futuristic promise. Now they are in human trials. Neuralink states on its official site that people are using Neuralink devices to control computers and robotic arms with their thoughts. Its trials describe active studies for people with quadriplegia. Neuralink has said one participant was using the system in research involving robotic arm control. This matters because the line that was crossed here is not just technical. It is conceptual. The brain is no longer only controlling the body it was born with. It is beginning to control external, digital, and mechanical systems. Once thought can move a cursor, use software, and begin interfacing with a robotic device, the experiment stops feeling like a theory. It starts feeling like a new category of human-machine control. And that is much further than most people still imagine. A lot of people still think of AI conversation as text on a screen. That assumption is already outdated. When OpenAI introduced GPT-4o, it described it as a flagship model that can reason across audio, vision, and text in real time. OpenAI's real-time API updates describe speech-to-speech models and low-latency interaction, built specifically for natural voice applications. Because there is a major psychological difference between sending text and speaking to something that hears and reacts fast enough to feel conversational. Once latency drops and multimodal reasoning becomes native, the machine stops feeling like a search box. It starts feeling closer to an interlocutor. That is the real threshold this experiment crossed. Not just AI can talk, but AI can participate in the timing of conversation. One of the strangest real AI experiments of recent years did not involve language at all. It involved matter. DeepMind's GNOME project introduced a tool for materials discovery and reported 2.2 million new crystal structures, including hundreds of thousands predicted to be stable. DeepMind described that as roughly equivalent to nearly 800 years of accumulated knowledge at historical rates of discovery. New stable materials are the foundation for batteries, semiconductors, and the physical infrastructure of future technology. The unsettling part is that a model was used to push materials exploration at a scale that changes what discovery even feels like. When a system can search spaces of possibility faster than traditional trial and error, the experiment stops looking like assistance. It starts looking like a machine expanding the frontier of what humans can even test. One pushed AI into combat. One accelerated biology. One connected thought to machines. One changed conversation. And one searched physical reality. But they all share one thing. They went further than the public imagination usually tracks in real time. AI progress often looks smaller while it is happening than it does in hindsight. Then one day, you look back and realize the line was already crossed. Which of these experiments feels the most unbelievable to you? Subscribe to Uncanny Atlas for more strange facts and dark technology.